I have told you that the manner in which God operates with people changes from dispensation to dispensation. It changes from dispensation to dispensation. God never changed, but his method do change. And I'm going to show you why this is important. Because assuming I write a letter to my wife, Gloria, and then the letter that I've given to Gloria, I now gave it to Praise to read. You cannot read other person's letter. You cannot read other folks' letter. That would be abnormal. That would be abnormal. So it is very, very important for you to understand the doctrine of dispensation. So the dispensation of the law, now let me tell you something. All through the Bible, there are different dispensations. And the manner that God works from one dispensation to another is different. Number one, there is a dispensation of innocence. There is a dispensation of innocence. And the dispensation of innocence is from the creation, from the time that God created Adam and Eve, because I'm going to relate it to human beings now. From the time that God created Adam and Eve to the fall of man, that is the dispensation of innocence. And this is the era that human beings do not regard nudity as obscenity. They walk naked without shame. Why? Because of innocence. They are innocent. Is the dispensation, and this dispensation lasted for almost 4,000 years, because from creation to the fall of man is about 4,000 BC. And then number two, we have the dispensation of conscience. The dispensation of conscience then is from the fall of man to the flood. Then number three, we have the dispensation of human government. The dispensation of human government is from the flood, right from the time that the Ark of Noah rested on Mountain Ararat, okay, to the time of Abraham. We call it the dispensation of human government. And then number four, we have the dispensation of promise. And then number five, we have the dispensation of the law. The dispensation of the law, by the way, the dispensation of promise starts from the time of Abraham to the time of Moses. Okay? And then we have the dispensation of the law, which is when Moses received the law on Mountain Sinai. And this dispensation of the law lasted until the time of Jesus Christ. So the dispensation of the law is from the time that Moses received the law on Mountain Sinai to Mountain Calvary. So from Mountain Sinai, where the law was given, to Mountain Calvary, you have the dispensation of the law. And most things that most church people know fall within the dispensation of the law. And please, let's fit in together. And the dispensation of the law is from the time of Moses on Sinai, where God gave the law. And during the dispensation of the law, there are three things that God gave them. Okay? Number one, God gave them the law. Number two, God gave them judgment. And number three, God gave them ordinances. These are three things you see, prominent things that you see under the dispensation of the law. Talking about the law, we're talking about the 10 commandments that were written upon the tables of stone. And the law typify how they should relate with God, their sovereign relationship with God. That is the law. The judgment is how they should settle strife within one another. And then the ordinances typify how they should worship. How they should worship. And this dispensation lasts from Moses on Mountain Sinai up to Mountain Calvary. That is the number 5, the dispensation of the law. And then we have number 6, the dispensation of grace. The dispensation of grace is when Jesus Christ came and was offered on the cross of Calvary. He died on the cross of Calvary, paid the price for you, paid the price for me, became our liberty, became our salvation, became our sanctification. And we are set free. Glory to God. We are liberated. Glory to God. Because of the finished work of Jesus Christ. And the way it's supposed to be is that there should be a clear cut. Once one dispensation finished, it should end and it's past. So if God says something to a dispensation, and you begin to live in something that God has said to a previous dispensation and not your dispensation, you are sinning. Paul the Apostle called it sin. Okay? So you need to understand the dispensation that you should operate in. So when Jesus Christ came on the cross of Calvary, he ended the dispensation of the law. What I can tell you right now is both the ordinances, both the 10 commandments that were written upon the tables of stone and the law, everything was scrapped on the cross of Calvary. So when Jesus Christ was hanged on the cross of Calvary, he brought the law of Moses to an end. And the dispensation of grace is from the cross up to the time of Jesus Christ's return. That is to say, the church is in the dispensation of grace. You and I, we are in the dispensation of grace. Then the next dispensation is called the Millennium Reign of Christ. The Millennium Reign of Christ. That one is going to happen after the rapture. I'm not going to bug you with that, but the next dispensation after the dispensation of grace is the Millennium Reign of Christ.